everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Stair Vodcast, presented by Heineken 00 in partnership with Loop News. I am Shanique, and I'm your host for the series. On each episode of the Stair, I am joined by a Formula One fan and a motorsport expert to keep track of all the news, the views, and the inevitable drama from the F1 grid. If this is your first time watching the series, then welcome to the Stair, and I must let you know that we do have a previous episode that you can catch up on this channel or on Loop News. So for this episode of the Stair, I'm joined by super fan of Formula One, Dre Williams, and he's here to help me to break down the top 5 things that you need to know so far in the Formula One season. Welcome to the Stair, Dre. How are you?
Thank you, Shani. Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. You?
Good. I'm doing good too. It's time for us to have a conversation about, all that has been going on. But before we get into it, how did you become a fan of Formula One?
Well, it started at a very young age. Mm-hmm. My father has a background in auto mechanics, so I loved cars from a very young age, and I loved more like Hot Wheels. Used to play with Hot Wheels and stuff in high school. We see a few cars on the road. We love it. But really, my circle of friends, they're all racers.
Nice.
So the Sarah Maziers of the world, Timothy Stewart, Lee Vaz, they do a lot of local rally racing.
All right.
So we know every Sunday it's like a little tribe. We're on the couch and we're watching F1.
Nice. So I feel like, with friends like that group that you just outlined, heavy hitters in the motor racing arena. So you definitely know a lot about Formula One, I'm convinced now.
Definitely.
You don't need to convince me any further. So let's get into it. Red Bull is sitting really pretty right now. You have some people who say they've already won the championships. So what do you think? Is there any stopping Red Bull this season?
All right, so Red Bull has been on top since the change, the new era. And with new eras, there come new champions. Mm-hmm. We saw it happen with Mercedes in their era. So I think now it's just Red Bull's time. Hopefully somebody else will come and give them a challenge, but I don't really think there's anybody stopping Red Bull.
Not this season. No. So you are saying that Red Bull definitely be taking
Unless Red Bull pulls a Ferrari like last year, which I don't see happening. So I think they'll be okay.
That's really what a lot of experts are also saying, that if Red Bull makes a mistake this season, that's the only way that they don't win. So, all right, cool. So Aston Martin, I don't know about you, but Alonso is surprising me. Like, this man is on the podium every single race.
That's true.
I am very surprised. Now, what do you think is the change over there, Aston Martin? Is it Alonso? Is it the Alonso effect? Or do you think that they just have a really, really great car paired with a really great driver?
All right, so it's a bit of both, as you mentioned. They have a really good car, surprisingly good car out of last year. They have a Mercedes engine as well.
Oh, of course.
Which, hurts because I'm a Mercedes fan. But they have done something well with the car, and of course having Alonso behind that wheel is a plus. I mean, Lance is not far behind, but that just shows you how much they've progressed since Lance is also doing well. Yeah. So they're definitely there, and Alonso's probably going to finish top 3, maybe top 2 if Checo doesn't have anything to do about it.
Let's go to McLaren. Now, McLaren, honestly, they've made some steady progress over the last few seasons, and one of the most hyped driver pairings this season, but
with Oscar,
they've just not been able to deliver.
I don't know. I think it's karma. A little bit of bad karma there with the way Daniel left and how, they signed Oscar with Alpine, that whole little buzz last year. So I'm not sure. I mean, it is a business. Formula One is a business. So at the end of the day, each driver is going to look out for themselves. Each team is going to look out for themselves. So I feel like it's probably just a little bit of bad karma. But Lando is such a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's hard to see them being one of the bottom teams this year. But I'm sure they'll probably turn around and become a midfield team. Yeah,
I mean, I think if there's any come around to happen, it's going to be from Lando Norris. Honestly, it's going to be from him, and I think that the whole McLaren team knows it. But honestly, I don't know why we're so aligned with our points, because when I saw it, I was like, boy, I wonder if it's a little bit of karma that the Alpine team set their way, because as you rightly mentioned, that whole Oscar thing last season was crazy. So, all right, McLaren, I hope they can turn around their karma though, because I feel like they should. Well, honestly, my prediction was that Aston Martin would be leading the midfield, but here I am standing to be corrected.
Yeah.
But they're actually
a top team.
They're a top team. They're a top team.
We've definitely seen some changes since the new rules, because the midfield is kind of getting a little bit smaller, and the top teams are getting a little bit closer. So it's good fun. It's good fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting into it. let's talk about Mercedes. Mercedes,
yeah.
they're not having the season that from Mercedes fans like yourself would be hoping that they would have. But George and Lewis, what's his name? Nico Rosberg? He said that Lewis can get mentally low, which is a weakness. So do you think that's what's happening with Lewis right now? Is it that he, before Australia that is, was it that he was mentally low?
I think Lewis has come to terms with his current position. You know, it must be hard being on top for so long and then just in the blink of an eye, you're now in a midfield car, maybe top team, but midfield car really. And he's accepted it and he's just working with the paces. I don't think he's low right now. Lewis has always been a loner. So right now he's just working with what he has and being a good teammate and listening to Toto and working with George. So I don't think it's anything to look too deep into.
Yeah.
We just have to just let Lewis be Lewis.
I mean, we all know how Nico feels about Lewis.
Yeah.
But honestly, I also kind of had the same feeling. I was like, I wonder if Lewis is a little discouraged because, you know, he's used to winning. And think about it, used to winning so well and so consistently.
And then the way it ended.
And then the way,
yes.
right? So we all knew. I mean, I honestly was shocked that he came back to the sport after that,
myself as well. Yeah.
You know, controversial season. I was surprised he came back, but he came back and he had such a poor season last season, no fault of his, you know, and then this season they came back with all the hope in the world and here it is, still not. But
they're not doing too bad. They're not doing too bad. So it's obvious that they're not where they used to be, but they've at least, I think, edged a little bit closer to Ferrari. Last year, Ferrari was like obviously ahead of them. Now it's a little bit close, and then Aston Martin just jumps into the mix.
Yeah, it's just Alonso, man.
Yeah, it is. And then Alonso has a bone with Lewis, you know, from the past.
Of
so
course.
it's good to watch.
Yeah.
Good to watch.
Okay, well, I mean, we could talk about Mercedes all day.
We could.
To round out the top 5, let's talk about the 6 sprint races this season, starting with Azerbaijan. So F1 bosses, they love the format. Max hates the format. Fans seem split on the format. Or what do you think? Are sprint races going to replace qualifying on a Saturday?
I wouldn't want it to be the replacement because I think the sprints just give the top teams a chance to pad up on points. It doesn't really have a major effect. Last year, Max broke a record for the most points in a season, and that also was
because
a part of
races.
Exactly the sprint race at points. So it just gives the top teams more room ahead. I think if they're going to actually do the sprint, make it a little bit more exciting, a reverse grid. So maybe some of the bottom teams might, you know, have something to say about the top teams coming and just dominating. But I don't think they'll do it.
If you have any points to make on these top 5 things, please leave them in the comments. And if you have some things that we didn't talk about that you definitely feel like, yeah, we definitely should have spoken about that, leave them in the comment section as well. Let's take a look at the Heineken 00 responsible driver. Ready, Dre?
Ready.
All right, so you know that in Formula 1, we have to keep an eye on the penalty points because F1, they allocate penalty points for any driver transgressions on the track. So if a driver accrues 12 penalty points within a 12-month period, you know, they got a 1 race ban. So let's talk about Pierre Gasly. Now, he is on thin ice. He had a little accident in Australia and all of that. With his teammate of all persons. So let's talk about him and his driving style. Do you think that, you know, is he a reckless driver? Does he have bad luck? What do you think it is?
I don't think Pierre is a reckless driver at all. I don't think any of them actually drive with the intention to crash.
Right.
At least in recent years. Pierre actually is a Grand Prix winner. So he does have that winning pedigree. I think it's just probably a little bit of a challenge, and it's a new team, so he has to get used to the team, new teammate. Esteban is very competitive, so he has to try and compete now, because as you know, with Formula 1, the 2 drivers, they're always going to try and edge out the next. So I think Pierre is going to try and stay tidy, but of course, last race was not a good indication of that at all.
It was not. But you know, it's always tough for a driver to come from way down the grid. I mean, on the front of the grid, it's great, you have the space. But when you're starting all the way down, it's kind of hard to work your way up. But one of the drivers that is on the opposite side to Pierre is actually Lando Norris. And he's actually been doing a really good job getting himself from the back of the pack up into the midfield area without causing any accidents. So what do you think of his driving style?
Lando, as I said, I think everybody loves Lando.
Of course.
Everybody loves Lando. And as we said, he's not very accustomed to being at the back. But Lando has always kept himself out of trouble. Even when he's racing with the top guys, it's not the first time Lando would tango with Lewis or Max or Danny or any of those top drivers. So him actually coming from the back and avoiding trouble is just Lando being Lando. He's an excellent driver, so he just needs the car to back it up.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the Responsible Driver segment, brought to you by Heineken 00. Let's keep an eye on all the drivers for the rest of the season so we can see, if Gasly gets his act together and if any other drivers, continue to keep themselves out of trouble. You have the esteemed title of Formula One superfan here on the set. I mean, I only have the title of host. You are the superfan here.
Superfan.
I feel like it's only fair that I can make two assumptions, right? Assumption one is that you're a fast thinker. Because, F1 drivers have to be fast thinkers.
Definitely.
And then assumption two is that you really know Formula One. Right?
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Well, let's see. We're going to put that to the test right now with the Stare Lap Time quiz. So the rules are simple. I will ask you a total of 10 questions. Your task is to answer them correctly in the shortest possible time. But think your answers through before you answer, because every answer you get wrong, there will be a 5-second penalty.
Wow.
All right, so you're trying to set the Stare record here. You're trying to set the fastest lap time.
I have no doubt I'll probably be the winner. Let's do it.
Of course you will. Of course you will. I have no doubt. All right, so let's put you to the test, right, Dre?
All right, let the games begin. Let's do it.
All right, your time, it starts now. So who is older, Lance or George Russell?
That would be George.
Okay, and that's correct. Who has the most race starts, Lewis Hamilton or Kimi Raikkonen?
Is it Lewis? I would say Lewis.
You're wrong, it's Kimi. At what circuit is the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix held?
Is that Italy?
Which one of the circuits? What's the name of the circuit?
Monza?
No, it's Imola. Who owns the Aston Martin F1 team?
That would be Mr. Stroll.
Who is Mr. Stroll? What's his first? Is it Lance Stroll?
No, it's not Lance Stroll. What's Lance's dad's name?
I'm going to give it to you in the interest of time.
Good.
It's Lawrence Stroll.
Lawrence, yes.
Number 5. How many Grand Prix wins does Lewis Hamilton have? Is it 103 or 107?
103.
Correct.
Yeah.
Name 2 of the 3 Grand Prix held in the United States this year.
That's
the cities.
That would be Texas and Miami.
This 3.
Oh, and Vegas.
Oh, how you gonna forget Vegas?
Yes,
I thought you were looking forward to Vegas.
Definitely.
All right, so Lando Norris, he has dual citizenship, the UK and which other country? The United States or Belgium?
Belgium.
All right, that's correct. Which team has a badge on their car this season celebrating 110 iconic years? Is it Ferrari or is it Aston Martin?
That would be Ferrari.
Nope, it's Aston Martin. And number 9, what does the W stand for in the name of the Mercedes W14 car? Is it wagon or is it wolf?
Wagon.
Yes, which means car in German. And number 10, and final question, name the city circuit for the 2023 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Oh my gosh. If you don't get this right, I'm going to feel you're not an F1 fan. Time is Your time is running out.
I crashed.
Oh my gosh, it's Baku.
Baku.
Come
yes,
on.
Yes, I crashed.
That is my favorite circuit.
Is it?
Yes, it is. I'm gonna tell you a time, but I just have to let you know that
not good?
I cannot believe that Baku is the one that you allowed to give you so much 5-second penalty.
I know.
I cannot.
How much I got wrong? Like 3?
You did really well, honestly.
In comparison?
Did really well.
Okay.
You did really well. This is historical knowledge. So if you know this, like you're a real super fan. Not that I was doubting you.
I could have gotten the Lewis one without the multiple choice, though. I could have
What, the 103 or 107?
Yeah.
You say you're a big Lewis fan.
Of course.
So you're an F1 fan and a Lewis super fan?
Lewis Mercedes total.
Okay. Well, Dre,
in that order.
Wait, go again. Give me
Lewis
again.
Mercedes total.
Yeah. All right, so I know you're dying to hear what your lap time is.
Let's hear it.
I think you did really, really well.
I think I did terrible.
What? You got 6 out of 10 questions correct. That's the first
60%.
thing. That's a pass mark. Which school did you go to?
I went to St. George's. Come on. That's hardly a pass.
Hardly a pass, he says. George's men. Tell me if that's true. But okay, so with your 6 questions correct, your time is 1:49. However, you had some penalties to be added. So with penalties added, your lap time is in total 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
Wow.
So that's the time to beat. And the good thing is that's a record for the stair because you're the first person to play the lap time quiz.
Oh, I win.
For this episode anyway, you are the winner of the lap time quiz. But thank you so much, Dre. You are such a good sport.
Thank you.
Such a good sport. And we have to have this debate about Mercedes after we come off here. We have to continue. Is Mercedes really overplaying their issues this season, or are they really having issues? We'll talk about it.
Confident, but let's do
We'll talk about it.
Stay tuned, guys.
Now, if you watched us on episode 1, then you know that Heineken was giving away a trip to Miami for a super F1 fan. All you had to do was to enter the promotion. So today, I'm here with the Heineken team, and we're about to contact the winner who will be going to Miami on May 7th. So our winner is Jillian Lee, and I'm about to call her to give her the amazing news. So let's call her together. Okay, ring in.
Morning.
Hi, good morning. Is this Jillian Lee?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Jillian. I'm Shanique. I'm calling you on behalf of Heineken. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm calling to find out. So, did you enter the Heineken Formula One promotion?
Oh my God. You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me.
Hold on, Jillian. I don't tell you not yet. You entered the promotion?
Of course I entered.
Okay, and are you a huge F1 fan?
You are out of your mind. I cannot. You're lying.
Jillian, I don't tell you anything yet.
I know what you're going to tell me. There's no reason you can be calling me.
All right, so you want me to tell you? Why I calling?
Wait.
All right, sit down. Grab a seat.
Hold on. No, stop.
Are you sitting down, Jillian?
Lying.
Are you sitting down?
Lying.
You sitting down? Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So on May 7, I want you to pack your best carry-on. I want you to grab your passport because you're going to Miami.
Stressing me out. I cannot believe.
Yes, you are the winner of the Heineken F1 fan promotion. You are going to Miami on May 7 with Heineken. You're going to have the Heineken experience. You're going to be on the track. You're going to see everything that's going on. You are going to Formula One.
Lying. Stop lying.
Yes. Amazing news, right?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Very complicated.
Awesome stuff. I'm glad you won. Congratulations. I'm going to pass you over now to a Heineken rep, and they're going to give you all the details that you need to know, all right?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so that was our winner, Jillian Lee. Jillian is on her way to Miami, and we cannot wait to see all that she will get into. Heineken is promising a premium VIP weekend experience for Jillian and her guests, so we will catch up with them on episode 3 to find out how it all went down. With all that being said, that's it for this episode of The Stair. Thank you so very much for joining us. The Stair is presented by Heineken 00 in partnership with Loop News. Don't forget to subscribe to The Stair on YouTube so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.